Hey, you're keeping company with Connor, and you're listening to a Town Square Spotlight. I am so excited about this one today. We are speaking with four-time World Series winner, five-time All-Star, Grammy-nominated artist, Billboard best-selling act, New York Yankees legend, and world-renowned jazz guitarist, Bernie Williams. Bernie, how are you?
I am doing great, man. Even better with that introduction. Are you kidding me?
You're the one who lived it, so
no,
you're the
man.
one who's done everything. Yeah. This is a real honor to be speaking with you. And
Thank
before
you.
we get into all this, my first Yankee game, first one in person, was your last season. So it was really cool to get to see you close out and everything. So really neat.
It was a bittersweet moment. I mean, once you start playing, you think, when you're young that it'll never end. And then it comes around that time, where you have to think about, what you're going to do after all this great time that you've had playing baseball. So it was great. It was great. We had a great career, a great group of friends, and great camaraderie playing those games and being part of all those championship teams. So it was really amazing.
That's amazing. It's so cool. And it's awesome to see you transition into this. And I actually got to bring up something that you did earlier this year. I thought it was so neat. We covered it back then. You performed at Lincoln Center for their spring gala. You made your debut with the New York Philharmonic. What an honor. What was that like for you?
That was just such an amazing experience. I mean, from the moment, I kind of got called to do it, to the meeting with the arranger to do an arrangement of one of my tunes, in an orchestral way. Spend like 3 or 4 hours with this great arranger. He was saying, well, got this melody part, where should we give it to? Should we give it to the violins or the flutes or what? And I was like, wow, man, you have so many colors on this palette. It's just amazing. I mean, I can't only think in terms of, 4 instruments, to write for. And then you have like 80 here. But it was just such a great experience. And then just to be able to perform in front of all those people, and they were classically trained and, used to listening to classical music. And it was just definitely a bucket list kind of thing that I wanted to do, and I was able to do it. And it was just amazing.
That's awesome. And so obviously the first time that you ever played with the New York Philharmonic, had you ever played at Lincoln Center before, or was that a first as well?
That was definitely a first, meeting Gustavo Dudamel. And he just made me feel so, it's just incredible. It just made everybody feel so great and safe. And, it was just a great experience, being able to play under a conductor, like a legitimate classical music conductor, and with that orchestra. I mean, it was just, as a musician, it can't get any better than that.
That's terrific, honestly. What a legend in his own right, and so good. And that's going to be a great season coming up because he's officially starting with them, I think, 2025, 2026, getting ready. So, no, very impressive. So let's fast forward to what's going on today. You're here for your concert at Millbrook Winery. And this isn't your first time here. What's it like to be back to be doing another one of these concerts here?
Oh my God, I believe this is the third time we've done it, and I am so grateful to Millbrook Wineries. And from the time that we actually started this project until now, it has been just such a great blessing to be able to get familiarized and know a little bit more about wines, from this great family, and then to top it all off, to kick off all these wines with a jazz concert, playing with my band in this beautiful place. It's just amazing.
It really is, and it's so gorgeous over here too. You gotta love the scenery. It's a little wet today, but still good enough. We can get through it.
Still great.
I love it. And of course, as you said, learning about the wines, you have your own Bernie's blend, which is amazing. There's the regular, the Magnum, the Chardonnay, and the Pinot Noir. So how'd you come to create all this with Millbrook Winery?
Well, first of all, I was not the main guy creating the wines. We gotta give God props for the grapes and the fruit, and then this great group of winemakers here at Millbrook Wineries. They just, are some of the best that I've ever seen, and just so generous with their time, trying to get me to learn the different things that we need to learn about, the nuance of, the different varietals, what goes with what, as far as the blend, we're going to blend it. Is it Cabernet Sauvignon? Is it Merlot? Is it Cabernet Franc? The rates and all of that. It was very fascinating, very interesting, and just, I'm a wine fan now. I mean, not that I'm an expert, but I'm definitely a wine drinker right now. Yeah, I mean, it has been really, really good, a really great experience. experience to be able to do this.
That's terrific. And of course, for those listening who weren't able to make the show, you can still check out these wines online. You can get them on the Millbrook Winery website, and they're so good. I got a taste of the regular one, and it was really good. I'm excited to try some more of it. And one of the big things about this, first of all, your daughter designed the label, correct?
Yeah. This is the second year in a row that she has designed the label for the wines, and I mean, it's just kind of takes it full circle for me to be able to have one of my kids. I think her sister Bianca was the one designing the actual portrait, where she took a picture, and then from that picture she made the portrait in oil painting.
Amazing.
Very detailed. We had to wanted to incorporate everything that is happening in my life right now, as far as music and obviously the baseball, notes with the baseballs and the glove, and then of course the grapes, because we're talking about wine.
Absolutely.
So I think it was a great sort of design. She did just such a great job painting it, and I'm so proud of her.
It's gorgeous. It's really terrific. And then I want to talk about the philanthropic side to all of this. Proceeds are going to be benefiting the National Association of Music Merchants Foundation and part of their Support Music Coalition. So what is this all about now, your work to support nonprofits, schools, and businesses and help them with their music programs?
I think it's really important, especially since every time we talk about schools, and especially in underserved and underprivileged places, first thing they usually cut is the arts and the music. My experience, music and arts have been such an instrumental part of my upbringing. My mom was an educator, my dad was a merchant marine. They really put a lot of emphasis in the academics. As a matter of fact, my mom didn't even know that I could make a career out of playing baseball or playing music. In her mind, I was going to be the next Dr. Williams or the next, lawyer or whatever. But the fact that they introduced me and my brother to arts, music, and sports at a very young age to try to be as well-rounded as we could be, it really made an impact in my life as a young person. And I think that I am here today, and with the career that I've had in baseball and everything that I've been able to do afterwards. I think music has always been a really important part of my life. Trying to figure out things, growing up, rhythm, technique, attention to detail, commitment to do 100%, all of that stuff was, I was first exposed to it by learning a musical instrument. Amazing. So I don't want any kid, to lose out on that opportunity. So that's why it's very imperative in my schedule and everything that I do to try to be an advocate for arts and education, especially in school for our young children.
Terrific. And I'm a musician in my own right as well. I went to music school, so I feel you on that. I feel exactly where you're coming from. I love it, and I love when you're able to support using the arts like that to help out a bunch of schools. I know you're busy, but I do want to wrap up with this one thing. You mentioned your family, you mentioned your dad. Want to talk tune into lung health. That's a big thing for you. You were inspired by your dad. Your dad, of course, helped teach you guitar, taught you baseball, and now it's just important that you're continuing this legacy now. So can you tell us a little bit about Tune Into Lung Health?
Yeah, Tune Into Lung Health is the latest reiteration of this campaign, sort of sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim, which is a pharmaceutical company that I've been working with, for the last 7-8 years. Just bringing awareness about the disease that took my dad's life away, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. It's part of an umbrella of diseases that are better known as interstitial lung diseases. And they're still under the category of rare diseases. So I think our job, and my job, all these years have been to try to get as many people as I know and as I can reach to understand and to be aware of these diseases, because there are obviously very short levels of separation between you and maybe a loved one or a family member that may be suffering from these symptoms, and they may not be able to recognize that they have one of these diseases. So I think it has been very important for me to be an advocate for this as well. So that's where Tune Into Lung Health come into place, because we're trying to utilize the healing power of music to deal with everything that comes with dealing with these diseases, your anxiety, your depression, not only for the people that are sick, but for the givers as well. I mean, they need to be in a good frame of mind to be able to do, carry that responsibility of take care of a loved one or a family member that is going through this situation. So Tuning to Lung Health is a website that we're trying to gear people towards. They can have more information about these diseases. They can have vocal exercises, breathing exercises, a playlist of music, and information, that people that are suffering from this, that they feel that they're not alone in this journey. That we have a lot of support, and they have a support system that is there for them and that they're back. So it's really important as well.
Absolutely. I can see the passion just radiating off of you talking about all that.
Yeah,
so I can tell how important it is to you. And of course, people in the Hudson Valley can learn more about Tune Into Lung Health. We're going to have the links in the description of this interview, along with links for the Bernie's Blend for Millbrook Winery. And of course, we're really excited about your performance later tonight. Obviously, when this airs, it'll be afterwards. But hey, we're pumped. We're ready to go. Bernie, thank you so much for this interview. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that too. Thank you for having me.